Pisces, the world is on your side here in August, but are you? Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot Pisces for August. And this is part of my Black Feather Couture Divining a VIP Life series. So excited to be connecting with you guys and pulling on the energies of what's coming up in August. So we are going to be pulling an overarching theme for you from the Self Sorcery deck from Lisa Lister. And then you guys got some dragons today. The dragons were speaking to me. This is the Dragon Tarot. Forgive me, I can't remember the name of the author. The box is in a box somewhere. So without further ado, let's get to it and see what we got coming up for you. Okay, and Mr. Neo is very verbal in the background. It would not surprise me if at some point he's going to jump up and make his presence known. He always likes to do that whenever I'm working with the camera. So let's see what we got for you this month. Ooh, let your heart be your compass. So it's interesting. I was tapping into the energy and frequency of this energy for most of the other signs is really intense. There's a lot that's transpiring here in August, and I feel there's a lot of heaviness. But I felt like for you tapping into your energy, even though that heaviness is kind of all around you, I feel like it's there on your behalf. You're going to be one of the few signs that is actually going to be able to kind of take it all and say, oh, I know exactly what to do with this. I know how to transmute this. I know how to wash this clean. I know how to release this and transmute it into something else. And I love the let your heart be your compass as being your overarching theme, because I feel like you're going to be washing everything this month through your heart space. Your heart is your washing machine this month. And I feel like it's not to say that everything needs to be washed, but I honestly want to say to you, that's the feeling. Everything is going to be a bit tainted, a little bit mucked up. And in order for you to be able to use it and to have that purity, to be able to manifest and co-create what it is that you are desiring to do so, you're going to need to filter it through your heart space. That means all your interactions with people, it's going to go through the filter of your heart, and any situations or circumstances that are coming up or decisions that you need to make, you want to be actively filtering it through the heart space before you say yes or commit to anyone or anything. The heart is your compass. And I want to say it's true north, right? It's your true north. And I feel like this month it's pointing you in a true north direction. There are going to be 3 different incidents or events that are going to come up and come through for you. And I feel like each of them is designed to make very clear to you what your true north is, where you need to be sort of leaning into that. So that's going to be kind of exciting, because I feel like it takes the guesswork out of it for you. You know, I feel like your guides are really speaking to you and making clear what they need for you to do or to be or to engage with. So where are you presently right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Ooh, we have the 2 of Swords. So yeah, I feel like just kind of what I was talking about. You're feeling very much like, okay, I've got all of these sort of paths to make, and I'm not really sure which direction to take with them. I'd rather kind of bury my head in the sand. This is a card for me of making a choice between shit sandwich A and shit sandwich B. Nobody wants to eat the shit sandwich, but sometimes that's what happens, right? In order for you to move forward into something else, you've got to make the choice. It's not a fun choice, but you make it, you do what you got to do, and you move on. And, you know, thank God, too bad, so sad, never having to go back to that again, moving forward. And I feel like for you right now, this 2 of Swords is keeping you locked in place, because you're trying to make the right decision. You're trying to make the perfect decision. You're trying to be all things to all people in regards to what this is. I don't want to be the bad guy, so I'm going to stay put, or I'm going to choose to not speak up and talk about what it is that I'm seeing or what it is that I'm needing. I feel a lot of codependency energy actually around this. So, whatever it is that you're dealing with currently at this time, I would encourage you to kind of unfurl your wings a little bit, bring your head up out of the sand, and just kind of look around. I feel like what you're afraid of isn't as big or as scary as you think it is. And of course, all within moderation. I mean, obviously, like if you're in a situation where you're like, I don't know if I need to leave my marriage or not, there are a lot of consequences to that choice, good consequences, bad consequences, and everything in between, right? Not fun. But again, like I said, it's a choice between shit sandwich A and shit sandwich B, right? If I stay, I'm going to go crazy, or I'm not safe, or I'm so unhappy. If I go, I don't know what's coming up and coming through. I'm going to have, financial considerations. I'm going to have to fight with my spouse. I'm going to have to hire a lawyer, and I've never done that before. Just using this as an analogy, the whole point I feel here is where you're at right now is keeping you stuck. So there has to be a choice made in order for you to be able to move forward. And I'm going to say to you, in making the decision, let your heart be your compass. Your heart will draw to you people, places, and things that will help you to steer you in that true north direction as well, so that you feel more comfortable in knowing what the choice is that you want to make. What's the catalyst? What's fueling or hindering your transformation? And is this resistance or rocket fuel? Oh, beautiful. 10 of Wands. Yeah, it's the rewards and the burdens that go with it. And I feel like emotionally, you are so tired of carrying someone else's things and stuff. I feel almost this energy of like a bit of depressive energy, or an individual around you that that just brings a lot of heaviness at this time. Not saying they're necessarily a heavy person, but it's been a rough road. I mean, let's face it, we're all in kind of a rough situation right now. We're all bringing a lot of up and down, our own chaos on a regular basis. Come here. Come and say hi. Yeah. Hi. We're all bringing a lot of that energy and frequency. So, we all take turns with each other, I want to say, to be the heavy, to bring the heavy. But I do feel like where you're at right now, you're kind of in a space and a place where this heavy is just too much. And it's interesting. You're a water sign, and water and fire are the two elements that are opposite, right? They are very beneficial to one another in keeping balance when they are given and worked with in moderation. 10 of Wands is not moderation. 10 of Wands says, okay, I've worked really hard to, gather all of my medals and my cookies and my jewels and my crowns and my coins. But I didn't think that I might need such a large container to carry them all. It makes me always think of, I always play this game called Divinity, and actually Diablo is a better example. I play Diablo and Divinity on PlayStation with my ex all the time. And when we started playing Diablo, he was patient, but he would get so frustrated with me after a while because I'm the looter. I want to catch all the loot. I want to get the loot. And I'm the one who ends up like running out of room all the time because then I don't go and sell the loot. And it's ironic because like I'm not a gambler in real life. I'm not a hoarder in real life. I'm pretty decent in my spending. But when I'm playing these games, that's my thing, is I love to like gather all the loot, and I never want to leave a cup behind, even if the cup is just crappy. It's something that we can, utilize. We can resource it. I feel a little bit like this energy with you. And this is going to be the catalyst, is where you're going to say, okay, I've gathered too much. I've just got too much. My sponge is oversaturated. I got to wring myself out. And in order to wring myself out, that means I have to distance myself a little bit. I need to stop picking up the loot, that's on the ground, or maybe needing to make some choices about what loot is priority, what is more valuable than the other loot, so to speak. Tens are new beginnings based on an already established foundation. And I feel like this is going to be the catalyst. This is going to be the thing that says, okay, you have no choice now. You can't bury your head in the sand. You have to make this decision now because you don't have room for anything else. And that's going to come up, that's going to come up pretty quickly in this month. I want to say within the first week, maybe within the first few days. of August. And don't be afraid of it. I feel like whatever shows up and comes through for you, again, your guides are really wanting to show you a clear path forward. So, whatever they're presenting as being something that you maybe need to close the door on or take away or leave behind, there's going to be something else that takes its place. And it's going to be pretty obvious what it can be if you choose to take it. So you don't have to worry about that. You just have to be aware and present and be willing to say yes. Here's your deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Yeah, you are ready for the victory. I like to say with the 10 of Wands, I've done all the things that I'm supposed to do. Where's my freaking cookie? How come everybody else gets their cookie and I don't have my cookie? I feel like this is the deep root, the subconscious, the I deserve this. But damn it, this is my time. I've done all the other things in the stuff, just like everyone else. Why does it work out for them and it's not working out for me? And I don't feel like you're coming at this 100% from a victim perspective. Of course, some of that is victim-y, right? I mean, we all would say that. We all have our victim-y moments. But I don't feel like that's primarily where you're coming from with this. I feel like for you, it's looking at it and saying, okay, so I followed the guidebook. I followed the instructions to the letter. I even got the knife out and, dragged it across the measuring cup to make sure that the flour was just perfectly even with that 1 cup mark. Like I did all the things and the stuff. I feel like this is denoting that you've even done things that you normally wouldn't do, that you're like, this is ridiculous, but okay, I really want this thing. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to break ranks, go against the tradition of what I usually do. And I'm actually going to follow everything to a T because, that always works for me. And for whatever reason right now, it's not working for you. And I feel like that's at the heart of this. And that's what keeps driving you, pushing you to gather more and more wands. Because there's this part of you that says, well, maybe this is the wand that'll work. Maybe this time. Maybe this is the wand that's going to make the difference. Maybe this time. I always hear Chicago in my maybe this time. So I really feel like for you here, the 6 of Wands is typically victory. That's your wound because you're chasing the win. And I want to say this is a month where it's not about chasing. It's going to be about standing and receiving what comes your way. Yes, you can put in your order with the universe. Absolutely. Put in your order. But don't chase. Once you put your order in, just be patient and wait. Wait for it to come because you're not going to have to wait very long. It's going to show up. What's dying away? What part of you is falling away? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? The Hierophant. So, tradition. I was just talking about that. You are used to doing things a certain way. You do the things, then you break with the tradition of the thing and you do the other thing. I feel like that's the part that is shifting for you here, is this whole point is about helping you to throw some spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. It's opening you up to a new approach to things. The Hierophant is about ritual and tradition, but I want to say it's ritual and tradition for the sake of ritual and tradition, not necessarily for the specific outcome. Sometimes it can be if we do a particular ritual, like I said, the ritual of baking where you are exact in your amounts. There's a chemistry that happens there, right? It's a chemical reaction, and that's how you can get like the best breads or the best cake or the best cookies. There's method to that. This feels like you are shedding this idea that everything has to have a ritual in order for it to show up in the way that it needs to show up. I keep hearing the word messy around you coming up here. I feel like this is a time for you to be a little bit messy. Now, as a Pisces, I don't feel that that's a particularly challenging adjective for you to step into. Not to say that you are messy, just that, you're a water sign. You're in flow all the time. So, water goes wherever it wants to go. If it happens to be contained, okay. But it can also get out of its containment as well. It just kind of does what it wants to do. And it's not really worried about staying in the lines, coloring in the lines. But for whatever reason here, Pisces, I feel like that's an issue for you. Is this is an invitation for you to make things a bit messy, or to not be afraid to get messy in the process of breaking with rules and tradition in order to open up into something new. This is also about the inner guide, you being your own inner guide, or seeking out a guide, a teacher, a guru for you. I feel like this is all about you stepping into your own truth and your own knowing. I like it. Highest phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Sire of Cups. Wow. King of Cups. So, this is your card. So I almost want to say to you, I feel like August is bringing you back to yourself. There's a part of you that you have felt has been wandering, maybe a little bit lost. Maybe you forgot that there was that part of you that needed something. What is coming back for you, what this is all about, is you coming into your own. I see this, the Grail here, he's found the Grail. I feel like there's for a good portion of you, there's something, a physical thing that you've lost that's going to show up in your life this month. Maybe you lost your keys or you lost your license, somewhere it's going to come back to you. I feel like for some of you, it's going to be something that you lost like 2 years ago and you've just kind of written it off, and all of a sudden it shows up on your doorstep. Or your sister says, oh my God, I was going through the attic the other day and look what I found. I feel like what you're kind of reclaiming, or what is rising from the ashes in this regard, is an aspect of you that has always been there. And maybe you let it out to spread its wings and fly a little bit from time to time, but never in a full capacity. And this is you letting the dragon out. It's not keeping the dragon in the cage, like a bird in the cage in the house. You let it fly around the house for a little bit and then you put it back in the cage. No, I feel like this is you saying, all right, let's have at it. Let's have a little fun. I also want to say to you, I feel like when we're talking about this King of Cups energy, it's also about you getting real about your moods. And I feel like maybe for some of you, the mood regulation has been difficult. It's been off. It's been something that you've not necessarily understood why you can't sort of put your finger on it. But it's mood regulation. And I feel like August is going to give you that path. Let your heart be your compass. It's going to align that path for you to get the regulation that you're needing or that you're seeking in this process. Some of this, it might be from a mental standpoint, mental health standpoint, needing some supplements or medication. This could also be just you recognizing, God, I'm so depressed, or I'm so angry at this person, but I keep taking it out on, the wrong people. I keep misdirecting it. I don't want to do that anymore. So I feel like this is also going to bring you into better emotional regulation, emotional mood regulation. And I feel like that's for all of you. So that's not just like a specific, a couple of people. I feel like that's for all of you in your own ways. It's been a very difficult time to be on the planet right now. There's a lot that's going on. So I certainly don't judge you for, having some issues from a mood perspective. I'm right there with you. Oh my God. Okay. Here's what's emerging. What is just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support your next phase? Yes, the Fool. It's time for something new. It's a new journey. But it's interesting. When we take a look at this card and this dragon who's got the beautiful rose in his mouth, and he's got a snow tiger. He's so cute, little snow tiger cub with him. And two other dragons that are overseeing. Maybe it's mom and dad, watching, their child getting ready to take their first flight. Very exciting. But you notice it's not a sunny day. It's cloudy. There's storms in the sky. You can't see very clearly what is ahead. And I feel like this is important because when we're talking about that, what's emerging, I feel like that's exactly what this is. It's not going to emerge completely clearly in an aha way for you. I feel like it's going to come out slowly. You're going to do this through that mood regulation. You're going to do this through the rewards and the burdens that go with it, through that Six of Wands energy. But damn it, I want my cookie. But I feel like it's through the storm that your heart is your compass. It's stormy on purpose because it's forcing you to come back to that heart energy, which is your intuition, your inner knowing. There's a part of you that's going to want to leave the body. There's a part of you that's going to want to just kind of like float in the ethers for a while because, quite frankly, that's fun. It's so much more freeing. It's so much more liberating when we don't have all the clunkiness of this body. And I don't mean leaving the body in a negative sort of depressive way. I just mean like we like to float around and be in our happy place in meditation all the time. I would do it all the time. I'm a Virgo, so I understand, the Virgo Pisces line, we are sort of the opposite signs of one another. So there's a lot of commonality there, right? I get it. Sometimes I'm like, I want to be nowhere else but floating around in my happy place, in my ether space. I feel like that's kind of what this is about. Is it saying you're going to be choosing the fool's journey? There's definitely something new that's available to you, but it's not going to be crystal clear. It's going to all be there for you, but it's about you listening to the heart space in order to find the actual path. He's going to choose the direction in which he flies. And he might fly in this direction first and then steer off and veer off in the next direction because that's where his heart is leading him. But he's fully supported. And I feel like that's what's important for you to keep in mind here is you are fully supported in that journey. All right. This is you in this process, what role you're playing in your own life. How are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? So you're resisting a little bit. I feel like with all these wands coming out, it's like you're working against yourself, but I feel like you're working against yourself because you've been feeling a lot like you haven't been heard or seen. And so a part of you is like acting out a little bit, like I'm going to purposely do the opposite thing just to see if someone will actually pay attention. And I want to say, again, it's kind of like, where's my cookie? I want what I deserve. I feel like with this Five of Wands coming up and coming through, the message here is don't get distracted. Don't get distracted by the little things. Don't get distracted by semantics. Five of Wands is a card of scattered energy, but it can also be a card of focus. And it is a card of training, learning things, practicing. I feel like for you here, it's about don't get distracted. Choose your focus. Be in that focus. Your focus right now is the change. It is the shift because you are ready for something different. And yeah, you're a fish. You can float around and, shift the streams and, do this and that and the other thing. And that's easy for you. But it's not so easy when you have the opposite element that is, forcing the shift. It's like when you got this tidal wave of fire coming into your space, in your place, you're not going to swim into the fire. You're like, whoa, I better get away from that because that's not good. That's going to burn. Right? So there's a little anger here. There's a little resentment coming up around this. And I feel like you're just getting a little bit rebellious. You're working against yourself. So I feel like the message here, you in this process, don't resist this. Instead, lean into it and say, okay, this is going to be my focus. I understand that this is what's coming in. It's coming in for me. It's coming in to help me. So I'm going to open myself to that help. Rather than resisting it, I'm going to say, okay, what is it here to teach me? What am I learning? And maybe this next foray is practice, but practice makes perfect. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And are you feeling it in a positive way? Oh, no, it's this one. In a positive way or a negative way? Four of Swords. So I love this card. This card just makes me so happy every single time. There's such a history with me in this card. So But I digress. It's not about me, it's about you. I feel like when we're talking about that circles of support, it is about giving yourself permission to take a rest, to take a break, to stop warring with yourself, to stop warring with others who are getting on your last nerve and driving you fucking nuts. It's recognizing, hey, they're practicing too. And I'm going to just remove myself from the game. I'm going to just kind of take a little bit of a breather, and I'm going to go into my heart space. Let my heart be my compass. I'm not going to navigate with my head. I'm not going to navigate with my emotions. I'm actually going to tap into my heart space, and I'm going to allow my heart to lead the way, because my heart does know the way. And you notice he's shielded here. He's shielded, he's supported. So the water isn't coming around him. The water is actually creating a nice little bubble for him to be able to relax. And it's okay for him to sleep. The water says, I got you. It's okay. We'll let you know if something else happens. We'll wake you up if you need to be woken up. In the meantime, just rest. Just receive. And I feel like this is what you are creating for yourself. I also feel like for some of you, from a work perspective, a boss is going to actually give you like a couple of extra hours off, or say, hey, you've worked really hard over the last month. You've really done a great job. Why don't you, leave a little bit early today? Or why don't you take tomorrow off? Just work from home, just sign in, but take yourself off the calendar, and, we'll just whatever, because you deserve it. You need a break. I feel like there's going to be generosity given. There's going to be someone that says, hey, I give you permission to call a truce. I give you permission to just take some time out to rest. And that's going to be, I want to say, graciously received. You're going to be so grateful for that. And I keep hearing, keep your mouth shut about it. Like, don't tell everybody else about it, because I feel like this person who's doing it for you could get into trouble. So I feel like keep that between the two of you, and see it as a gracious gift, and don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? Odd information to get. All right, hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming? And what scares you about actually doing it? Sorry, we've just messed up here's the Virgo in me going, oh my God, now there's like a mess. What was your message? Messy. Oh, and Mr. Neo is coming over to say hello. Yes, thank you. No more cat butt in the face. Thanks so much. Okay, so sorry about that. All right, hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Here we have the Ace of Swords. I do feel that you're a little bit nervous about the new beginning, the fresh start. I believe that you're nervous about what you feel that you're going to have to cut away in order to be able to move into this next venture. But there's also this desire for you to actually do it. It's kind of like the war within you is, I'm afraid to cut things off, but there's also a desire to just cut everyone off and everyone out and just start from scratch. And I feel like you're dealing with a little bit of reactionary energy versus responsive energy. The Ace of Swords is coming through, I feel, to say, hey, there's a new way for you to communicate your feelings and emotions. And if you are letting your heart be your compass, you don't have to be afraid of setting particular boundaries. I feel like that's what this is kind of about, setting particular boundaries. It's interesting that you got the Six of Wands, because the Ace of Swords is also often seen as a card of victory. It's got a little bit of that victory energy to it. And so when we're talking about the hopes and fears, I feel like you really are wanting to be victorious, but there's a part of you that doesn't fully trust that you're going to be able to get there. It's kind of like 3/4 of the way you're like, yes, I know that this is right, and I'm right, and I'm going to do this. And there's 1/4 of you on the inside that's going, oh shit, I don't know if I'm right. I just bet the farm on this, and I could lose the farm. Like, I'm dying on my sword for this. But I don't really know for sure if this is the way I want to go. So I want to say, like, release kind of ego voice around it, and just kind of be in the space of, all right, it's a new adventure. It's a new learning. It's a new opportunity. And let me approach it with that learner's mind. Let me approach it with that, okay, this is a potential, and I don't have to commit to anything at all. I can explore it and see what it may or may not hold for me. And then I can decide if I want to lean in and connect to that, if I want to own that and work with that. I also feel like when I'm looking at this card, actually, let's keep looking at it here. I can't tell if you want to be the dragon that is breathing the magic, or if you actually want to be the egg And it's interesting that I'm seeing this because the egg is shattered, it's broken through. And I feel like that's part of what you're looking for is you want the breakthrough. But I feel like you also want to be the magic. You want to be in charge of what the breakthrough looks like. I feel like you're the egg in this. But I feel like the dragon, that source energy, it's kind of like surrendering the situation to source, allowing source energy to show you the way. And source energy is going to show you a way that you could never have even imagined. And no, you're not going to know exactly where it's going to go and how it's going to go and all of those things. But I want to say this is an encouragement for you to really trust in source energy, to trust that whatever is meant for you is not going to pass you by, and whatever shows up on your doorstep is there for you to utilize. It's a gift. It's not supposed to be a hindrance or to get in your way. I feel like it's there for you to utilize. Again, somewhere in here, I felt like for you, the message was like resource, like using things that didn't feel so good to now move you into, it was the 10 of Wands, to now, resource things so that you can get the victory that you want now. And I feel like that's really important. Okay, we're at our outcome of this transformation if you stay on course in August. Who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? The Emperor. Oh my God. So I want to say it's being in charge of your own life and your own path. I feel like it's bringing heart to the divine masculine. It's giving you more confidence and courage in the decision making that you're stepping into. Not to say that you have trouble in general with decision making, but I really feel strongly as I'm looking into this, it's more about giving you confidence in I have a path and a direction now, and I'm confident in that. So yes, I absolutely can stand in my Emperor energy and feel confident in that. I said, like, you're going to die on your sword. Yeah, 90% or 80%. Yeah, I'm all in. I can do this. This is exactly how it is. But really, there's that part of you that goes, but is it? I don't know. Like, I'm saying a lot here and I'm risking a lot. I feel like the Emperor comes through to say the calculated risk pays off. And you are the master of your own domain. I love that this Emperor is all in blue as well. So very much the blue water, the blue energy. So your home, this is your home element. This is where you thrive. This is where you are most comfortable. So you're having a lot of discomfort in the wands that creates the growth that allows you then to be in a greater space of comfort on the other side of it. Growing beyond the discomfort to make the discomfort comfortable. Right? We are uncomfortable by the unknown, but when we sit in the unknown and we get to know it, we get onto the other side of it. It's no longer unknown. And it becomes a part of us. It becomes a part of our path. And I feel like that's what this is all about. I love this for you guys, especially in August here. I feel like this month ultimately is getting you to see some things that have been available to you, but you've been kind of stuck in some of this stuff first. So with the Emperor now, there's a clear path forward. This is very action oriented. So by the end of August, you are going to be very motivated, very driven, and it's a very clear path. This is going to be your true north. This is letting your heart be your compass, letting your heart guide you. This is where it takes you. It takes you home, to a bigger home than what you started off with. Wow. Okay, so Pisces, that is your transformational tarot for August. Pretty intense. Loving it for you, though. I love what you're becoming on the other side of it, and I'm here for all of it. For those of you who are new to me, welcome. So glad to have you here. I hope you got something out of this reading. If you're going through some stuff and you could really use a little bit of support or guidance, just in case you didn't know, I do offer private readings and would love to be able to help you out. So feel free to click the link in the description below, and you can book a session. We can brainstorm. We can get divine guidance around it. We can talk around different strategy, whatever it is you need. I would love to be of service. Otherwise, guys, that is our transformational tarot for August. As always, sending you so much love. Take care, guys, and transform well.